brominated vegetable oil, potassium bromate, titanium dioxide, red dye 3, azotocarbonamide, 5 food additives. All banned across the European Union, all legal in the United States until very recently, and several still legal in your grocery aisle today. The European Food Safety Authority has issued binding restrictions on dozens of additives that the FDA still permits at higher concentration. The documented record shows U.S. food companies routinely produce 2 versions of the same product. One cleaner formula for European shelves, one cheaper formula for American one. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is European Commission Regulation 11333/2008. Publicly searchable. 9 American brands. The same recipes Europeans reject. By the end of this, you'll know which ones to put back on the shelf and which ones to trust. Let's get into it. Mountain Dew, the neon yellow soda. Owned by PepsiCo. Headquartered in Purchase, New York. One of the largest beverage companies in the world. Here's what the label doesn't tell you. For decades, Mountain Dew contained brominated vegetable oil, BVO, an emulsifier patented as a flame retardant in plastic. The European Union banned BVO in food long ago. Japan banned it. India banned it. The FDA finally revoked authorization in August 2024, over 50 years after the safety concerns first surfaced. PepsiCo had quietly reformulated the international version of Mountain Dew years earlier, while continuing to sell the BVO version domestically. The translation? American consumers were drinking flame-retardant chemistry in their soda for half a century, while European drinkers got the cleaner version. This isn't a quality issue. This is regulatory negligence on an industrial scale. Skittle. Taste the rainbow. Owned by Mars Wrigley, the privately held global candy giant headquartered in McLean, Virginia. Here's what makes Skittles worse than Mountain Dew. The product contains titanium dioxide, a whitening agent the European Food Safety Authority concluded in 2021 could no longer be considered safe due to potential genotoxic effects. The EU banned titanium dioxide in food across all 27 member states in August 2022. Mars reformulated Skittles for the European market. The American version still contains it as of recent label inspection. A 2022 California class action lawsuit, Thames versus Mars Inc., specifically cited titanium dioxide in Skittles as unfit for human consumption. That's court filing language, publicly searchable. Mars has continued selling the original American formula while marketing it to children with rainbow imagery. The premium they charge is not matched by the accountability. Same brand, same logo, 2 formulas. One for them, one for you. Banned in 27 countries. Legal in yours. Pillsbury, the Doughboy, the pop can pastries in every American refrigerator. Owned by General Mills, headquartered in Minneapolis, one of the largest packaged food companies in North America. Here's where it gets worse. Pillsbury Crescent roll dough contained azotocarbonamide for years, known in the industry as ADA, also used as a chemical foaming agent in yoga mats and shoe soles. The European Union banned ADA in food back in 2005. Australia banned it. Singapore banned it. The FDA classified it as generally recognized as safe, a designation that allows companies to self-certify ingredient safety without independent FDA review. Subway pulled ADA from its bread in 2014 after consumer pressure, but it remained in dozens of American baked goods, including Pillsbury products, for years afterward. Independent lab testing by the Environmental Working Group has flagged ADA in over 500 American food products. The translation? Your Sunday morning cinnamon roll contained the same chemistry as a gym mat. Pillsbury has gradually reformulated. Trust damage is done. When a chemical is in your food and your treadmill grip, it doesn't belong in either. You thought it was safe, but Pop-Tarts have been on European watchdog hit lists for years. Owned by Kellanova, formerly part of Kellogg's, headquartered in Battle Creek, Michigan. Pop-Tarts contain a stack of artificial colors including red dye 40, yellow 5, and yellow 6, all of which require warning labels in the European Union under EC Regulation 1333/2008, stating may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. Kellogg's reformulated Pop-Tarts for the UK and EU market using natural colorings from beetroot, paprika, and turmeric. The American version still uses petroleum-derived dyes. California passed AB 2316 in 2024, banning red dye 40 from school lunches starting in 2027, the first state to act. The documented record shows multiple peer-reviewed studies, including the 2007 Southampton study published in The Lancet, linking these dyes to behavioral issues in children. Kellanova note, the European subsidiary already proved cleaner formula is possible. American kids get the petroleum version because reformulating costs money. Before I show you the worst offender on this list, and trust me, it's the one in millions of American kitchens, hit subscribe so the next investigation lands in your feed. Now, the #1 brand to avoid. Kraft Macaroni and Cheese, the Blue Box, the childhood staple. Owned by Kraft Heinz, headquartered in Chicago and Pittsburgh, one of the largest food companies in North America, with billions in annual revenue. Here's the maximum impact betrayal. The classic American Kraft mac and cheese contained yellow 5 and yellow 6, synthetic petroleum-based dye, as the source of its iconic neon orange color. The European version of Kraft mac and cheese was reformulated years ago using paprika, beta-carotene, and turmeric to avoid the EU warning label requirement. The American version kept the synthetic dyes for years after, until consumer pressure in 2015 finally forced Kraft to remove artificial dyes from the original recipe. But here's something the industry hopes you never figure out. Kraft Heinz still sells multiple mac and cheese products in the US, with synthetic colors and preservatives banned or restricted in Europe, including some shapes varieties marketed directly to children. Independent ingredient audits by Consumer Report have flagged ongoing additive concerns across the Kraft Heinz cheese product line. The translation: the most iconic American children's food has been formulated more carefully for European children than for yours for decades. Kraft Heinz settled a 2013 lawsuit, Lewis versus Kraft Foods Group, related to additive disclosure. That's a court filing, publicly searchable. The brand spent the last decade slowly cleaning up the flagship recipe under public pressure, not regulatory force. The premium they charge for the Blue Box is not matched by the transparency. If a brand needs decades of consumer pressure to match the same ingredient standard their European subsidiary already met, that's not a quality issue. That's a contempt issue. Annie's homegrown, the bunny on the box, the mac and cheese alternative to Kraft. Here's the transparency note. Annie's was acquired by General Mills in 2014, the same parent company that owns Pillsbury on our avoid list. But Annie's operates as a separately certified product line with USDA organic certification on most varieties and non-GMO project verification across the brand. The acquisition contract specifically preserved Annie's clean ingredient standard. The cheese powder uses real cheddar and natural color from annatto, no synthetic dye. Available at every Target, Kroger, and Whole Foods in America. The price is mid-tier, not premium. Same parent corporation, dramatically different ingredient discipline. Structure matters more than ownership. Simple Mill, the almond flour crackers, the cake mixes. Founded in Chicago in 2012 by Catlin Smith. Acquired in 2024 by Flowers Food, but the formulation standards were contractually preserved. Here's the certification stack. Non-GMO project verified. Certified gluten-free by GFCO. And carries the Whole30 approved seal on multiple product lines. Independent third-party audits document the supply chain. The crackers contain nuts, seeds, salt, and herb. That's it. No petroleum dyes. No emulsifiers banned across Europe. No azotic carbonamide. The Vivid quality marker is the ingredient list length. Most products have under 10 ingredients, every one pronounceable. Available at Whole Foods, Target, Kroger, and Costco. Mid-premium pricing, but defensible against the alternative. Once Upon a Farm, the kids' food disruptor. Founded by actor Jennifer Garner and a team of food entrepreneurs in 2017, the brand specializes in cold-pressed organic baby and toddler food pouches and snacks. Here's the structural credibility. Certified USDA organic across the entire product line. Non-GMO project verified. The cold press process keeps nutrients intact without high heat preservation. Verified through HPP food safety standards, documented with the FDA. The brand has 0 artificial color, 0 artificial preservatives, and 0 added sugars in the toddler line. Available at Target, Whole Foods, Kroger, and increasingly at Costco. Slightly premium pricing, but the formulation standard matches or exceeds European Baby Food Regulation EC 125/2006. This is the disruptor doing it right, and millions of European parents would recognize the ingredient quality. Immediately, Applegate Natural, the deli meats, the hot dog, the breakfast sausage. Founded in 1987 in New Jersey, focused exclusively on cleaner meat products. Here's the gold standard structural play. Applegate operates under strict humane animal welfare standards, with certifications from the Global Animal Partnership rated 2 or higher across most product lines. The brand uses no antibiotics, no synthetic nitrates, no artificial preservatives, no GMO feed. Independent third-party audits document the supply chain through the GAP certification process. USDA organic certification on the Applegate Organics product line. Available at Whole Foods, Target, Kroger, Costco, and most major grocery chains. The vivid quality marker is the celery powder cure. Applegate uses naturally occurring nitrates from celery instead of synthetic sodium nitrite, which the World Health Organization classified as a Group 1 carcinogen when consumed via processed meat. The European Union restricts synthetic nitrites in processed meat far more aggressively than the FDA. Applegate's standard already meets European threshold. Mid-premium pricing, but the only major American hot dog brand a European regulator would clear without complaint. This is the answer to the question, is there clean processed meat in America? And yes, the same companies feeding you mystery chemistry are feeding Europe a cleaner version of the same product. Send this to someone who's been buying Kraft mac and cheese their whole life. They deserve to know there's a European version with different ingredients. Next week, I'm exposing the dairy aisle. 5 healthy yogurt brands using ingredients banned across Scandinavia. Subscribe so it lands in your feed. Check the label. Check the dyes. Eat like Europe eats, even if your government won't make them.